Hello, beautiful soul. Welcome back to Moments of Spiritual Education with Aadfedbea. Today we are getting into part 2 of the relationship series, okay? So first of all, if you haven't seen the first part, make sure you go back to my page, check that out, then come back to this video for part 2. And also take a moment now to go and grab your pen and paper, and then we'll get right into it. All right. So, in this relationship series, the first question that has been posed for you guys to think about, for us to discuss and talk about, is how do the relationships that you choose to be a part of affect your life and your spirituality? Now, the dynamic that I want to talk about today in part 2 is how relationships can affect your ability or the speed in which you are able to manifest the things that you desire in your life. Okay. Now, in the first part, we talked a lot about having the power of choice when it comes down to these relationships, when it comes down to who you have in your immediate environment, who you work with, even family, right? Yes, we are born into family. We share blood with certain people by default. But the types of relationships, the space in which each individual has in your life comes from your choice, okay? Now, the first thing that I want to make sure that I remind you guys of is that you should never spend any time trying to make someone, right, be who you need them to be. Now, as I've also told you in the part 1, we have the ability to become and embody who it is that we desire to see in our lives. If we want better friends, we become a better friend. If we want, people who are more in depth in the way in which they think and go about their lives, then we take the time to go deeper within ourselves and, seek those avenues, right, that will allow us to explore ourselves, on a deeper and a more familiar level versus just taking the definition of what this person says you should be and what you saw your family do and da 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 da, right? No, taking that power of choice and using it to your advantage, but not trying to use it to force people to be who you need them to be. Okay, let me tell you that it is impossible. Because just as you have the power of choice, so does every person that you meet. And when you meet a person that is choosing to embody an energy that is counterproductive, counteractive, right, to who it is that you are trying to be, who you are being, right, not trying, right, but who you are being and existing as every day, or even who you are aiming to be, then you need to understand that that is not a call for you to force that person or attempt to force that person to change or be who you want them to be. No, it's okay for you to release and allow the energy that you are seeking for to find its way into your life. Okay. Now, with that being said, that segues me into this main theme of part 2 today. Okay. Now, when you are holding on to people, situations, energies, even thought processes, and we'll talk about that on another lesson, okay? But I want to focus, make sure that I focus, on the relationships, what you are engaging in, okay? But when you are allowing these energies to come into your life that do not align with the frequency in which you are operating, you can cause blockages to come into your life, okay? Now, we could think about this 2 different ways. If you are water, right? You are operating in the energy of things flowing, moving fluently, right? And you are dealing with somebody who is stone energy. They may be a little bit stagnant. They may be, a bit set in their ways when it comes down to certain things, right? I want you to think about that. When you begin to put stones in the flow of water, what happens? You create a dam. You create, this resistance in the flow of things. And it can happen just as simply as allowing certain people to be a part of your life. Or it could happen by way of you allowing the doubts, the fears, the limited mindset and ways of thinking and being that come from other people to be projected onto you. Okay. Now there's a huge reason, many reasons why we hear the phrase so often that birds of the feather flock together, right? Because you start to become who you are around. You start to take on those energies, those thought processes, etc. Right? So when you are trying to manifest, and let's use an example, something as simple as self-love. I want to manifest more self-love and self-respect for myself. You can't be around nobody that don't love themselves. Okay. You can't be around nobody who is not willing to prioritize themselves, or even who thinks with the mindset that says, oh, you should put everything or everybody else first and yourself last, or you should be a sacrificial lamb in all that you do. No, it just will not make sense for you and that person to work together on anything, or just to have a fruitful relationship of any sort, because of the contradicting frequencies and energies, right? And we're not just talking about a matter of opinion. We're talking about, okay, I am trying to manifest deeper self-love because I want my life to be easier. I want my life to be more abundant. I want to see a physical change in my day-to-day existence. This is vital. Okay. And it's not just a matter of, well, I'm just going to keep this person around because I don't want to be lonely, even though I don't agree with anything that they do, or even though they are contradictory to all the things that I do. Absolutely not. Okay. You have that side of things. And then you have the other side of things when we talk about God and your spirit team that protects you, and they protect all that belongs to you. If you are choosing to remain in a relationship that is detrimental to your well-being, or that is counterproductive to your growth, your blessings, honey, will be on hold. Okay. And that just is what it is. Now, true enough, God will never interfere with our ability to use our free will to choose to do what we want to do. But if you have prayed certain prayers or made certain contracts with God to say, in this lifetime, at some point, I want to accomplish this. I want to see this. I want to do this. I want to have this. Whatever energy that you may be choosing to be a part of that is not going to allow that to come to pass, God is not going to bless you in the midst of that. God is not going to give you the fullness of that, because you are around an energy that will destroy or be destructive to the life in which that has on its own, those blessings, and as well as which it adds to your life. Okay. So let's choose not to be around the people who are counterproductive to who we are. Now, on the ending note, and on the flip side of things, when you are choosing to be a part of relationships that are conducive to who you are, how you think, what you are choosing, the frequencies in which you already align with, honey, you can manifest with the speed of light. You can manifest with the speed of light. And if you've had an example of a person being a part of your life that moves in that way, you have like-minded, and kindred spirits, you have thoughts that are pushing towards the same goals and, accomplishments, right? You see how quickly things can start to come to pass when you are around this person, whether you guys are discussing a certain topic and bringing forth ideas that can produce more from that, or to create the level of success that you are looking for. Or if it's just a person that is around you that makes you feel loved, they make you feel cared for, they make you feel seen and understood. And every time you leave that person's presence, right, you still feel those energies ruminating within your being and in your aura. It allows you to be more creative. It allows you to be more productive. It allows you to even have more faith in your ability to manifest, right, what you desire and what you deserve. So this is why it is very, 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 very important to understand the people first and foremost that are around you, and to understand why they are around you as well. Now, with all of these things being said, here is your challenge today. Okay, here's where you're going to put your pen, your paper, and your beautiful brain to use today. Okay, first and foremost, I want you to take the time to write down some things that you are wanting to manifest. And I won't say so much of long term, within the next few months. Okay, some things that you want to accomplish, the things that you want to get done, the things that you want to see happening inside of your reality, in your world. Okay, now some of you may have already written these things. I know, okay, because I know I'm attracting writers and master manifestors and everything else in between. Okay, but for this exercise, I want you to write it again. All right, now once you feel like you have completed that list of things that you want to manifest within a short term time frame, right, I want you to then make a list of all of the people that are active in your world. Okay, these could be people that you speak to every day, maybe even if not every day, people that you value their opinion, you value their presence in your world and in your life, people who play some sort of role in the things that you do, even the people that you work alongside, the people that you have partnerships with. I want you to take the time and write down all of those names. Now, once you feel like you have gotten that list completed, I want you to do a bit of comparison. Okay, I want you to take the list of names. I want you to go name by name and truly think about each person, right? Write down the things that come with this person that could be productive to what it is you are trying to manifest, right? Keeping in mind the list of manifestations that you just wrote. I want you to write down the traits of each person that offer some sort of assistance, that offer you more speed and power and ability to be able to bring forth these things. But I also want you to write too, if there are any characteristics within this person that will be contradictory to your ability to do so. Make it plain, make it clear. Now, once all of that is said and done, and please, by all means, take your time doing this. Okay, you can spend the next few days writing this list out, really taking some time to think deeply about it. Okay, but once you have completed the list and done the same for each name that is on that list, the pros and cons, if we'll call it, right, I want you to look at every person honestly. Now look at every person that has a list of contradictory energies that is longer than those that are coinciding with what it is you're trying to do. And I want you to be honest with yourself about what it is you need to do to make an adjustment here. Now, notice how I said that this is a conversation for you to have with yourself. This is not a time for you to go to that person and say, well, I was making a list. Aadfedbea told me to make a list. And when I looked at the list, because remember what I said at the beginning of this video. We cannot control what people do. We can only observe the energies that they are willing to bring. We can observe the capacity and the maximum capacity in which a person is able to operate. And we can hold that comparison to our own capacity, to our own desires, right? And understand that if there is an adjustment that needs to be made, you need to be the one to make it. Okay, you have to be the one to make the adjustment. Now, for some of you, this adjustment will look like, at an extreme, a complete cutoff. No more dealing with this person. For some of you, this will just be a written confirmation of what you already know intuitively, like I spoke in part 1, that some of you, these conversations will trigger something that is already a festering thought on the inside of you, but it just now needs action to be put to it, right? So that the proper change can be made for you. For some of you, this will be an adjustment of how much space and energy you give a person in your life and in your world. Okay. For others of you, this will be a moment as well, too, as we talked about in part 1, for you to reevaluate yourself by way of understanding what it is that you are attracting and calling in. right? Because like I said to you before, if there are traits that a person is showing you and revealing to you that just does not sit right with your spirit, it does not even feel like something that you want to be related to, right? Back to that birds of a feather fly together or flock together, right? You don't want to even be associated with, this type of behavior. Then this list as well will also highlight that. And again, allow you a space and time to readjust your internal compass, right? Your internal magnet to attract what it is that will, first of all, boost the best parts of who you are becoming, and as well that will boost the speed in which you are able to manifest all of those beautiful blessings, tools, energies that will play a part in you continuing to become the best version of yourself each and every day. Okay. Now, some of these, things will reveal hard truths to you, and that's great. That's the point. Okay. I am a solution based advisor. I'm not here to cuddle and coddle, honey. Not at all. Okay. Let me make that clear. But I am here to help you produce results that can be seen, that can be felt, that can be enjoyed. Okay. We want to live life abundantly the way that God has called us to live. We want to live life in fruitful ways, right? And produce fruit that is edible, that is good to the tongue, right? On the lips. Okay. And whether we understand it or not, these small steps and adjustments are what align us with the ability to do so. Okay. So again, take the time, write this list, be honest with yourself. Okay. Keep this to yourself for now. If you would like to have a one-on-one session with me as well for some help to get this list done, or to just even talk about the things that this list may begin to reveal, right? Internally, that's like, oh, I need to deal with that, but I need a little help. I need a little assistance on how to get that done. Please make sure you email me, reach out. Okay. I'm happy to help. I'm happy to be here. I'm sending you so much love, so much peace, so much divine wisdom as well too. Okay. I love you guys so very much, and I will talk to you again soon.